And here we go. Today we're joined by an absolute legend, Evander Holyfield. Um, how are you getting on, number one?
Everything's good.
Everything's good. It's fantastic to hear,
you know,
sir.
that's
Seriously.
it. Podcast over. We're all happy now. That's all I wanted out of that. Brilliant. Um, I guess we have a couple of questions for you. So we're going to start at the beginning. When you won your first boxing fight, how were you feeling? Your first pro
What?
debut?
You said first pro debut. I was,
As if there's multiple, yeah.
Of course, the first time I boxed and professional debut, it was, you know, I had the toughest fight. At that time, a guy named Lionel Bowler. And it was a tough fight, but I went 6 rounds and I won the fight.
And that's how you're feeling?
Yes.
That's great, man. Holy
Groovy.
crap. And then
Were you scared?
So what?
I said, were you scared?
Oh no, I wasn't. At that time, at 22, and overcame the fears and all that. I realized that everything in boxing get greater. They don't go less. You're always going up.
Yeah. So for how long were you an amateur fighter before you became a professional?
I started boxing at the age of 8, and 22, I became professional.
And what made you start so early? Just for fun? Were you inspired by someone?
No. The thing is, when I was 8, this man told me I could be like Muhammad Ali, and I told him I'm only 8. He said, "You won't always be 8." I knew next week I was going to be 9, so I knew he was telling the truth. And so he asked me, he said, "What do you think about it?" I said, "I got to ask my mama." And he go, I'm asking you though. I said, "But I can't even start it. My mama don't give me the permission." And that's when he told me I had a good mom. And so when I asked my mom, she said I could, and I started then.
So you took your time getting ready to become a professional. Was that always the goal, or do you start off for fun again?
Well, I'm talking, as a kid, people talk about gold, but you don't really actually understand what gold really meant. But as a kid, I realized right now that seemed like it'd be a lot of fun. And I won my first match, and I got my first trophy, which made me a little bit different in my family. I was a family of 9, and I was the youngest kid. And I'm the first one with a trophy. So my mama was really, 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 really on my side.
Good to have, man. And I doubt you would have guessed where you'd end up today when you're after winning your first fight, because so you've been through one hell of a journey as a boxer.
Well, I wouldn't say that I did, because when something is fun, it's not like it's work. They weren't paying me to box when I was that kid. I went there because I didn't do a lot of other things real well. I'm like, my mother had a 6th grade education. My dad didn't go to school at all. And so anytime in school, I was the quietest one because the fact is I didn't know that. And so my mama used to always tell me you have to be thankful for what you have. And I could take a lot of pain, and I was fast, and I was very athletic, but I was really mad about all the time because I wonder how kids my age knew something that I didn't know. My mama did. Do you get mad when you outrun them? Do you get mad because you're stronger than them and all that? So my mom was always kind of putting me in the proper respect to how to think that somebody can do something somebody can't, and that you become friends with people who know something that you don't know. You can do something they don't do, and so you learn to respect everybody.
When you look over the span of your entire career, and a lot of boxers like to talk about legacies, is there something that you'd like to be remembered for?
Well, I felt I was, man, God, I love Jesus. And I talked about that. I felt that because I was a Christian, I could be my very best. Not somebody else's very best, but my very best. And I think that my career kind of showed that I was a man of God because, you know, I, I all the things that they didn't think that I could do, I did.
Yeah, you went on. You fought some legends. Thomas, you tell me about one earlier.
Enjoy-
The Foreman fight.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of Foreman. That fight, I go back and watch that fight. It's incredible. What was that like for you fighting this guy who was already a boxing legend?
Well, it was. I thought I actually thought, man, why would they give me this old guy to fight?
Mm.
Because he was 42, and he was 42, and and I was 28, and I was, I didn't think it was going to be fair. And so my manager told me, he said, "Do you know why you fighting him? Because they believe that he gonna knock you out." And I'm like, man, how in the world this man ain't gonna be able to hit me? And so George was a Christian. So George, the first person that I fought that was a Christian too. And so I remember them asking me, they said, whose side do you think that Jesus had? So, I asked them, I said, have George ever been the heavyweight champion of the world? They said, yeah. I said, okay, he had his turn. It's my turn. Like this, that's it. That's the only thing that I can come out that showed that he had his turn and he was the champion. Now it's my turn. Is he 40? He 42 and I'm 29 at the time. I'm like, it's my turn. So I beat him. But he told me he wasn't too old to be the champion, and he became the champion by beating this guy named Michael Moore, who beat me. I'm like, and that's how George became 2 times. So it shows you how good God is.
I like the way you took that fight on. I would have been fucking terrified. Uh, in fairness, go up against a boxing legend like that. And you're a young lad as well. That takes balls. And
Well, you know what? In that fight, I realized that I felt that I had the youth. I was faster, and I knew he could hit hard. But I'm a person who I can take good shots. But the fact of the matter, you know, I give more punishment than people give me. So I had fast hands. I had very fast hands. And I was a very good boxer.
That you were, sir. I think you're only, is it one of three fighters to ever be a cruiserweight champion, then go on to win the heavyweight title of the world? And then recently, you look at a guy called Alexander Usyk, who's done the exact same. What do you think of the guy? You a fan?
Well, yes, I am, because it's amazing when I went over to his country and and we was talking and stuff like this. But you know, I was the first. I was the first guy that ever been the undisputed in 2 weight division, and here's a guy that said he was going to do what he told me. He said, "I'm planning on doing the same thing that you do." I said, "Well, more power to you," and all this. I was happy for him because I realized records are meant to be broken. I'm telling you, if you didn't have people to inspire you, then it didn't nobody keep records or nothing. What would this world be? But because people keep records, the world tend to get better.
so, what do you think is a big difference between, I guess, boxing as a whole when you were starting out versus if someone were to start out today?
Well, the difference is that I'm talking, in America, we had a good boxing program. People started boxing at a young age, and they put it on television. Because when things on television, then people think they're important. And the reason why I really wanted to box, because I want to get on TV. And like this, and because I seen guys 17 and 18 getting on TV because they used to put it on Wild Wars of Sports. And we used to fight against, the Cubans, the Russians, and and everybody, and I kind of felt that being on TV, people talk about the person on TV, and eventually I got on TV.
Well, you got on it in a fair few times, in fairness to you, and you've stayed on it since. Um, I suppose we have to, like every interview you've probably ever done, touch on the Mike Tyson fight. Um, you've probably been. I couldn't imagine how many times you've been asked. Why do you think he bit you?
Well, I was beating it, and I'm telling you know, even in fights when I was a kid coming up, when you're winning, when a guy bites you, the fight is over. They stop the fight because you don't supposed to bite. I'm telling you're boxing. You don't supposed to bite. Like that. So I'm saying bite or scratch. If you bite or scratch, if you got in a street fight, they said the other person beat you. So one thing that you knew, you couldn't bite or scratch nobody. And so biting is just one of the things that that really when a person bite, that means I give up. I ain't no way I can win. And so so I knew when he bit me, I knew that he didn't want to fight again.
You ever get annoyed that fight never got the ending that it deserved, and that you two never got a proper end to the rivalry?
Not really, because I know it was up to him. Because I'm telling even as he did that, you would think that everybody would favor Evander, but and I guess the social media part, people act like Evander headbutted him, so he bit him and all this and stuff. I didn't headbutt him. I don't even put my head down, but he butted me on purpose 2 times. And with me, I had a harder hit, and that's it. And plus, I realized when somebody headbutt you or do something illegal, to hit you with elbows and stuff like that, if you just act like it didn't bother you, and then they get a little bit more afraid. And like this, and so my own thing is that I took pain real well. I would act like it didn't even happen, like this and stuff. So people think because I didn't get affected, then I'm the one who must have did the wrong. My own thing, I never hit but nobody on purpose. And because my whole thing is that I didn't believe in cheating. I think when you cheat, this is the reason why you lose.
Yeah, agreed. And
you're kind of on the ball when you say that you took pain fairly well, because I seen an interview you did after the ear was bitten, and it's bleeding still, and you were acting like it was nothing, like nothing had happened.
Well, my mom. It's amazing. It was my mom. Everything that always happened to me as a kid, and I would complain and cry. My mama, she said, "You got to stop. You can't be showing them emotions." So my mama didn't want me to show emotion. My mama wanted me. She said, "This is a part of life. When people can hurt you and touch your feelings and your emotions, this is what they would do to you." So I had to. By me being the youngest of 9, and all my brothers and sisters was better than me, and a person trying to rise up. So my mama, just crying and making up excuses. My mama took all that away from me at a young age.
I mean, people would look at that like a double-edged sword, but I mean, it worked for you in the end.
Well, life's about at a young age. If you can start working on these things, then when you get older, you have it in it. You don't even have to think about it. It just becomes second nature.
Well, Christ, I don't know what to say, Evander. I want to thank you first of all for coming on, but just before we finish up, tonight is the trilogy in Tyson Fury Wilder. Can I hear a prediction from you?
Well, I like both of the fighters, and Tyson Fury he's a Christian, and but Deontay, he from America, and he from Alabama, where I was born, and all this. So I realized, and this thing, it's two fighters that I can't help at all, no more than just see who win the fight and hope both of them fight clean fights, and the winner gonna be the winner.
Cheeky, but we'll take it. You after disappearing on us there, Evander. There we go.
Hello?
Perfect.
And yeah, I've got a question. Then we'll finish this anyway. Are you willing to ever fight again, or are you calling it quits?
Well, I never say I wouldn't fight again, because you fight in a lot of different ways. You know, I'm to me even communication. You fight and so, but the thing is that I'm in great shape, and I'm always doing the things to help. But the thing is that I'm not looking for a fight, and but I'm always in shape, because this is just part of life.
That's it. Well, look, hopefully we get to see you do something again, whatever it may be. And again, thank you so much for getting on, Evander. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
All right. For anyone who got this far, fair play to you. Take it handy, and bye-bye. Now, lads, if that wasn't intimidating, I don't know what was. We've little to say to the patrons. Thomas, go ahead.
Patrons, you're fair sound, all one of you. Shout out to Danny DeVito. Mwah. Much love to you, sir. And if you want to go to the Patreon, look in the description for the link. It'll be there.
And also, shout out to his cousin, Declan DeVito, who is actually supporting the Patreon. Sound out, lads. Have a good one. Take it handy. Bye-bye.